Greetings Internet, DDA here, and welcome to week 3 of my Card of the Week segment. Last week was Blue Style, and that was Blue Neck Beam, so if you want to see that, if you didn't get a chance to see that video and you would like to see it, take a click on the link. So last week being Blue Style, that means this week is Namekian Style, and I chose probably one of the more obvious cards. Well, I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I first started playing this game, pre-release tournament, and I saw and read this card, I didn't think it was going to be as powerful as I thought it was going to be. So this week I chose Namekian Knee Block, and this card has an effect. If this card is rejuvenated, raise your anger 1 level. Endurance 2, stops a physical attack. Very simple card in text, but very intricate card in use. At first glance you may say to yourself, the only real use that this card has is you can pass Rejuvenate and then gain an anger with it. Previously, post CRD and post Namekian Nerf, you used to be able to gain 2 anger with this card when you rejuvenated. And it kind of facilitated a way to play the game, kind of a passive way to play Namekian, and you could just pass and rejuvenate using cards like Namekian Concentration and this card, Namekian Knee Block, to continuously rejuvenate outside of combat and gain anger. So in that, the power of this card got reduced a little bit. This card's power didn't necessarily get reduced because of the Namekian nerfs, but the passive way in which this card promotes you to play the game got nerfed. There's a very distinct difference between those two ideas. This card stayed the same in power, but its effect wasn't changed at all with the nerf, but rather the style of play in which this card promotes was nerfed. So you might think that the only real use of this card is just passing and rejuvenating, but a big use of this card is actually even if you draw it into your hand. You draw it into your hand, it's a physical block. A lot of Namekian decks pack heavy on energy, so a physical block is always useful to have in your hand. But however, its real use comes in when you block with this card. It then becomes the top card of your discard pile. So if you have a card in your hand that rejuvenates an attack, and you block with this card, you can immediately then play that attack and rejuvenate it to gain 2 anger. Now there's one major thing I don't like about this card, and that's that the Namekian Mastery triggers every time you rejuvenate or shuffle cards into your life deck. This card, and much like all the other effects similar to it, only triggers when you rejuvenate the card. There are several cards in Namekian style that shuffle cards into your life deck, so that means that the use of this card is going to be slightly limited. You're only going to be able to rejuvenate, and there have been several times where the only form of rejuvenation, quote-unquote, that I've had in my hand has been shuffling. A lot of people play this card. Like I said, originally I thought the card was underwhelming. It wasn't in my first few builds of Namekian, but then I quickly added it in when I realized the power of this card, because the power of this card is not so much. You look at the card, you say to yourself, okay, it's an anger. Every card in Namekian gives an anger, so why do I care about 1 anger on a block? Well, that's really not what it's doing. It's not giving you 1 anger. It's really kind of comboing up on your other anger potential. So more so than just giving you a single anger, it's allowing you to gain multiple anger in a single action. It can kind of catch your opponent off guard. If your opponent is holding a card in his hand like Blue Head Knock to try to lower your anger to 0 and waiting for the precise opportune moment to lower your anger to 0, he may not expect you to rejuvenate a card like this and gain extra anger in a phase leveling. This card also has great combo potential in the Namekian style. There are several cards that play off of this card like Namekian Regeneration that allows you to rejuvenate either the top or bottom 4 cards of your discard pile. So if this card happens to be anywhere in either of those any of those 8 cards, you can get the extra anger. Also, it combos very nicely with Namekian Finger Lasers. You're not going to necessarily want to draw this into your hand, but you can rearrange the top X cards of your discard pile and put this card closer to the top so you could possibly then rejuvenate it. Really, this card is going to be a staple right now in Namekian style. I don't see Namekian decks out there not playing this card. Just because of the combo anger potential that I mentioned earlier, and being that it is a physical block with a high amount of endurance. This is an excellent card. Closest that I would give a card to 10 out of 10, I'm going to say 9.5 out of 10, just because I don't like giving things 10 out of 10. But this is an excellent card. I would include it in pretty much every single Namekian deck I play. Really, I think learning how to use this card to its full potential is going to set apart the really good Namekian players from the mediocre or poor Namekian players. You really have to be aware of the cards in your discard pile at all times and their position in your discard pile at all times in order to play Namekian style at its maximum level. And this card can kind of get you into a way of thinking like that. This card has enough impact in a game that you'll notice when you use it correctly and when you use it incorrectly. And that can help teach you how to best play Namekian style and use discard pile manipulation to your advantage. Discard pile manipulation was a huge thing in the old score game, and I can only imagine how important it's going to be in Panini Z. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed week 3 of my Card of the Week segment. Next week is going to be orange style, so be sure to hit subscribe if you want to catch an early glimpse of that video. If you like this video, please hit the like button to let me know that I'm doing alright. And as always, stay tuned for more weekly updates for the Dragon Ball Z card game.